Crossover Radio. Radio with a purpose.
This is Higher Tech. That's right, it's Higher Tech on Crossover Radio. That's right, Higher Tech with a purpose. Sorry, Higher Tech technology with a purpose on Crossover Radio. Radio with a purpose. That's right. So glad to be with you this morning. Thank you so much for joining us as we dive into a lot of technology things, including. So hang on to your hats, people. Including, for one, cloud storage review, as well as how to be one of the first ones to get an iPhone X, how to help ensure that will be possible for you. It's going to be a really good show today. We're going to be talking about other things too, and of course, we're going to have our one-to-one segment. That I try to draw a correlation between faith and technology, and I'm going to be bringing that to you this morning as well. And there's so many things that happened in the past week in the realm of technology, and it's going to be pretty action-packed during the Rapid Rewind segment, and we're just going to really cover a lot of different things. So definitely want to stay tuned for all of that. If you are listening on Facebook right now, what I would like for you to do is to share it with your friends and family. I really appreciate that very, very much. That would mean a lot. And definitely drop me a comment. Say, hey, I'm listening. And, would definitely love to hear from the listeners. As well as, I would definitely like to definitely field any questions. So if you have a question, throw it my way. I'll try to, swing and see if I can knock it out of the park, but we'll see. But regardless, I will field it, and that's an appropriate euphemism at this point, because the World Series started last night. Dodgers took a 1-0 lead. That's really cool. Speaking of, if you are at all a baseball fan, especially if you are an OKC Dodgers fan, which is the AAA affiliate of the LA Dodgers, which are currently leading the World Series 1-0, if you didn't know, you need to stay tuned for the Dadcast that comes on 9 to 11. They're going to have Alex Friedman. He's the play-by-play, he's really the voice of the OKC Dodgers. So you need to definitely listen in, because the OKC AAA market has a really unique thing on their hands. They have been the AAA affiliate of both of the teams in the World Series this year, and they have been the AAA affiliate recently of both the teams. Right before the LA Dodgers took over as the AAA affiliate, they were the AAA affiliate of the Astros. We're talking about within the last 5 years, I believe, they have been the AAA affiliate of both the Astros and the Dodgers. There are a lot of players on both sides, on both teams, that were a part of the OKC affiliate club. So that is a really, really unique and really interesting thing. You'll want to stay tuned for that. Alex Friedman, he will be on discussing the Dodgers and the Astros, for that matter, but primarily the Dodgers, I'm sure, because that's who he works for. And it's going to be a really, really cool thing. So you'll want to stay tuned for that. That's going to happen during the Dadcast, 9 to 11 today. I believe he's going to be coming on at 9:30, but you'll want to jump on at 9 to make sure and just stay in. I mean, it's a great show. It is a great show. If you've never listened to Dadcast, really, really cool, really lighthearted, really fun. And if you are a dad and you really appreciate that, it is a really great show. But today, again, we are going to talk the cloud storage reviews. We're also going to talk the iPhone X, how you can help ensure you will be one of the first ones to get it. So if you are listening right now, you'll want to stay tuned for that. That is coming later on in the show, and I think you'll really enjoy that. Again, please share with your friends, family, coworkers. If you could also, if you are listening to us on the app and you are just chilling, you're just sitting, whether you're at work or you're at home, drop us a text. It's easy. It is super easy. Just drop us a text. If you are in the app right now, there is a button that says text. So you just go click text, and it will actually send a text. Actually form everything to send a text to us. It'll put the number in for you. But if you're curious, I'm gonna say it again. The number is 405-494-0234. All right. All that being said, let's go ahead and get into to some technology things. Been an active week for sure in the technology world, and a lot of things going on. I think the whole thing is very interesting regarding some of the different things that have happened. And let me actually share a couple of things with you to kind of give you an idea of things that have been going on. So within the past week, one of the things that we've seen happen is that there's new legislation. Okay, there's new legislation coming down the pipe in a very popular city. It's a major city on an island. Okay, so there's major legislation coming down for people who use your smartphones in a major city of the U.S. We're going to get into that whenever the... you know what? Let's just go and get into it now. Let's get into it now. So in Honolulu, that's right, Honolulu, Hawaii, if you look at your phone while crossing the street, you could be fined up to $99. Now, how this begins, I believe it is a $35 fine if you look at your phone while crossing the street. And then it goes up to $75 for your second offense, $99 for your third offense, and I guess after that it's just continuously $99. I wonder if this is going to be more like jaywalking. You know, I wonder if this is going to be a lot more like jaywalking, where it's not really enforced all the time, especially in certain parts of a city where it's not crazy busy. But I guess this is such an epidemic in Honolulu that they are now going to be fining people for looking at their phone while crossing the street. Now, I have mixed feelings about this because the least government needed, now I do emphasize needed, the least government needed, the better to me. But you do need government at times. And in this particular instance, I guess it is such an issue where people are looking at their phones is causing danger for other pedestrians and other drivers that now you're going to be fined if you look at your phone while crossing the street. That's pretty crazy if you ask me. Fined while crossing the street. Now, this is just in Honolulu right now, but the expectation, according to the article on TechCrunch, the expectation is now probably other cities will take notice and will do a similar thing. That means major cities, including Oklahoma City. That's right. Where we are at right now, we're technically in Bethany, but, the outskirts of Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City will probably take notice of this, and it will become a thing. It will become a thing. It's just bound to happen. It's kind of the nature of how some of these laws work, especially with regarding smartphones. And you know what? Maybe it's deserved as a culture, as a society. maybe we deserve it. Maybe we deserve this kind of law because so many people are inconsiderate of where they're going, where they're walking. And I have to admit, I'm bad about it too. There are times I'm walking and I'm just tapping away at my phone. Now, I feel like I'm pretty aware of my surroundings, but there are some who are not, and there are times that I am not. So maybe it's something that we kind of deserve. We just needed to be put on notice. I think it's the same thing with using your phones while driving. I think as a society, we deserve that law because a lot of people are not careful. They don't consider others, and they wind up putting others in danger, especially in a car. It's even more dangerous, and I think that this is kind of deserved. I think it's just kind of how it is. There's not much more you can say about it because really, you can't text while you drive. But so many people were doing it. I was guilty. I will be honest about that. I was guilty. And most of the time, I try to not do that anymore. If I'm going to be completely honest, maybe it does happen at times. And it shouldn't. In all honesty, it shouldn't. But you know what? Sometimes we need laws to help us do what's right. It's just the bottom line. It's just the bottom line. Unfortunate reality of us as humans, of us as people who are prone to sinning. It's just kind of the name of the game. If you are listening right now on Facebook Live, drop me a comment. Let me know what you think about this law in Honolulu that is going to fine people for crossing the street. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and definitely let me know what your take is on that whole situation. And because honestly, it's probably going to wind up having an effect on the laws here in Oklahoma and throughout the country, in major cities at least. So let me know what you think. You can definitely text me, 405-494-0234, or you can drop me a comment on Facebook. Either way is just fine. We are going to roll to a quick break. It is that time in the show already. We're going to roll to a quick break, but right after these short messages from our sponsors.
City Life Community Church is the proud home of Crossover Radio. We are located at 6634 Northwest 36th Street, right here in the heart of Bethany. You can join us for worship at 11 a.m. each Sunday, and if you can't make it, you can hear us right here on Crossover Radio. You can also join us for worship and prayer each Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. City Life exists to glorify God by making disciples and doing good in Jesus' name. We are here for Bethany and for the Northwest Oklahoma City communities. We're excited about the opportunity to serve you and your family. Would your business, organization, or ministry like to connect with our listeners? Crossover Radio is seeking amazing like-minded partnerships to impact our community. Crossover Radio has cheap and affordable sponsorship packages available now. Call us at 405-494-0234 so we can help connect you with thousands of listeners every week right here on Crossover Radio. Again, that number is 405-494-0234. Call us today.
Tired of taking up a seat in church or just watching a production? Join us Sunday at West Metro Community Church in Yukon, a place where your life matters and you are more than a number.
We are located at 601 West Main Street in Yukon, and our worship service is at 10:45 on Sunday. For additional information on our student ministry, men's, women's, and mixed small group Bible studies throughout the week, find our information at www.westmetro.org.
Come be a part of a church where all are welcome.
Crossover Radio. Radio with a purpose.
All right, we are back here on Higher Tech on Crossover Radio. That's right. Higher Tech, technology with a purpose on Crossover Radio. Radio with a purpose. All right, it is that time in the show. We are going to do a little thing called Rapid Rewind where we recap recap tech happenings in the past week. So definitely sit tight. We will be going through about 5 different things that have happened, and these are just ones that I picked from technology news throughout the week. Interesting thing regarding Alphabet, Google's parent company. Google's mobile transition, according to this article on MarketWatch, is a double-edged sword. Bottom line, what's happening is Google mainly makes its money from its search engine ads. Its ads in general. That people can pay for, different spots whenever people search for different words and phrases on their popular platform, right? So that's where most of their money comes from. Well, whenever they were transitioning to mobile, they saw some interesting numbers, and some of their profits fell off a little bit. But the overall expectation is it's about to get right back up again. So, but I thought it was just kind of interesting. Not much else to say about it, except Google's gonna find a way to probably make more money. It's kind of where they are right now as a company. They're doing a lot of things that make them a lot of money. Excuse me. Amazon redid their app, and it was a significant makeover. And this is according to TechCrunch. Let me read you an excerpt from this article on TechCrunch. Excuse me. In addition, coins. That's right, coins. Amazon has introduced coins. Just a little note from what I was reading real quick. Figured it'd be good for you to know what the Amazon coins are. Amazon has introduced a thing called Amazon Coins, where you can pay for stuff with Amazon coins instead of your money. Well, sort of instead of your money. Here's how it works. Amazon now has a thing called coins, where you can buy coins for X amount of dollars. So the first level or so is like 100 coins, $100. You're like, okay, well, what's the benefit of that? Why wouldn't I just use the money? Well, to make an incentive for you to spend your money at Amazon will allow you to buy, the more coins that you buy, the less money you spend. And you can get up to, at the top tier, like a 20 or 22% discount. That's pretty cool. So basically, you spend $80, you get 100 coins. Well, that's if they were to do that at that level. I'm just trying to give you an example, though. But you'd have to spend, I'm sure, quite a bit to be able to get that kind of discount. In addition, so this is picking back up where I was left off, reading the article. Excerpt here. It says, in addition, coins are used by app developers as a way to encourage users to try their apps or stay engaged. In these cases, the developers give them away, talking about the coins, they give them away for free as in-game rewards. The Coins tab will also showcase ways consumers can earn more coins, giving developers increased exposure. So basically what the point of that is that, look, to encourage people using apps on Amazon and different other apps that could connect to Amazon, I'm sure, things like that, you could actually earn free money, essentially, is what that's equating to. At least free Amazon money. Free Amazon coins that you can spend on purchases of different Amazon products. That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool in my opinion. You can basically get free stuff from Amazon. Who doesn't like free stuff from Amazon, especially? I don't know. But that is a really cool deal. I will be checking that out, and I'll try to let you know over the coming weeks what that's like whenever I try to use that. I will probably not buy coins because even at $100, that's a steep entry point for a one-to-one scenario where you're getting one coin for every dollar. I don't like that. That does not sound appealing at all to me. And so I will not be buying coins most likely, but I will be using the apps in order to earn more coins would be the likelihood. Now, let me kind of quickly adjust real quick. Let's say you have some products though, where normally it's $10, but if you pay with coins, it's only 8 coins. Aha! Now I have an incentive to buy coins with my hard-earned money. So I can maybe do that. That'll be my one caveat. We'll see though. We'll see what happens. I'll let you know the more that I find out and my experiences with all of that, including earning coins for free. That's what I'm interested in. Free money. Next, 12 major cities pledge to adopt all electric buses by 2025. These cities, we're talking about major cities from around the world. These cities, the leaders also promise, talking about the mayors of these different cities or leaders of these different cities, the leaders also promise to take steps to create a significant zero-emission zone within their cities by 2030. Continuing in this article, the mayors say they'll hit the targets by collaborating with their providers to phase in more zero-emissions public transport vehicles and pushing for everyday commuters to adopt alternative forms of transportation. The cities will publicly report their progress every 2 years. There are 2 of the 12 big cities or major cities in this resolution that was adopted. 2 of them are in the U.S. One is in Los Angeles. The other is in Seattle. Some of the other cities, London, Paris, Barcelona, Copenhagen, Vancouver, Cape Town. Oh, Cape Town. Never mind. Okay. Mexico City, Seattle, Milan, and Auckland. That's pretty cool. That's going to be pretty cool. We'll see how that goes. That combined with the first future city that Google's wanting to build in, where was that? Toronto, I believe. That is all very intriguing to me. Amazon is also still on the hunt for, well, that's a whole nother thing. Anyways, Amazon is still on the hunt for where they're going to put their next headquarters, but I don't know if it's going to be anything like the Google stuff, where they're going to relocate their Canadian headquarters to their future city, which will be cool. That combined with this zero emissions and all electric buses, we could see some pretty neat things happen. We'll see what happens though. I do realize for all of you who are, how can I word this? For all of you who are like, well, electric vehicles still aren't good because we still use fossil fuels to create the electricity. I get that, but I think it's a step in the right direction. I would like to see a comparison of how much fossil fuel is used to create electricity for those cars versus how much fossil fuel is used for gasoline engines, combustion engines in general. Which, by the way, another thing in the tech world, Mazda has improved its internal combustion engine to where it'll be 30% more fuel efficient than its previous SkyActiv G technology. It is still called SkyActiv, but there's another notation on the ends for the next generation of it. But it's going to be 30% more fuel efficient than the SkyActiv G, which means it's going to be really fuel efficient because the SkyActiv G was already one of the more fuel efficient engines and based vehicles out there. So this is going to be really cool. We'll see what happens with that too. All right, let's see. I think there's one more. No, 2 more. Congress votes to disallow consumers from suing Equifax and other companies with arbitration agreements. This is via TechCrunch. They voted late last Wednesday to basically rule in favor of Equifax by disallowing consumers from being able to sue them. I'm kind of on both sides of this fence. Equifax is such a big company that it kind of becomes a thing where if you allow people to sue them over this, albeit probably one-time major mistake, a big one, really, really big one, but one-time major mistake, you can cost a lot of people jobs. It is a tier and pillar. I want to say that with a small p. It is a major part of credit reporting and all of that. So I get it on one hand. I also am not in favor of just saying to the consumer, sorry, kind of just what happens. You can't do anything about it. Your data was compromised, and if you lost significant money or issues from it, that you're seeking restitution from Equifax, you can't. That is pretty cruddy, in my opinion. But it's a complex issue. I realize it's not super simple. I'm just not super thrilled about that. All right, one last thing. The LA Metro, yeah, that's right. LA is back in the news for different ways to improve their transit system, if you will. The LA Metro wants tech firms to help it launch a new kind of transit. Let me read a piece from this. Microtransit, and this is via via Ars Technica. Microtransit, which is the name of their new proposed system, would involve a fleet of vehicles driven by Metro employees that would pick up and drop off passengers at, quote, virtual stops. What virtual stops are designated streets and corners that may change dynamically. The vehicles would not follow a fixed route, but they wouldn't be as direct as taking a Lyft either. You know, like Lyft, like Uber, Lyft, things like that. Rather, they would follow ever-changing dynamic routes between virtual stops based on demand. Self-driving cars are not part of the current plan, but Metro reps said they wouldn't rule anything out in the long run if a good proposal came in. So basically they're wanting to dynamically change the stops and routes based on need. That's pretty cool. If they can figure it out and they can have a good app system and reporting system for consumers to know where it's going, things like that, I think that could be a pretty cool deal. I'm interested to see what happens out of that. I'm not sure if anything will happen. Yeah. Man, this is just really interesting. I was trying to see if there's any kind of date, but I don't see any projected date at this point. But, you know, it'd be kind of cool. This experiment, oh, this is interesting. Let me finish reading an excerpt from this article. This experiment follows similar ones in Kansas City, Helsinki, and San Francisco with varied results. So there are different other cities trying something like this. I think it could be really, really cool. So we'll see what happens. All right, that has been Rapid Rewinds this morning, brought to you on Crossover Radio. That's right, radio with a purpose. Thank you so much for listening this morning. We're going to roll to a very quick break. When we come back, I will tell you how you can help ensure that you get the new iPhone X in the first batch, which, by the way, some news on that too that you'll want to stay tuned for, that if you don't get it first, you might be waiting a while. So you want to definitely want to stay tuned. That way I can help you hopefully secure the iPhone X if you're looking to order that and be one of the first ones to have it. All right, so we'll be right back on Higher Tech right here on Crossover Radio.
Hey, newly engaged couples, are you tired of the same ho-hum, boring wedding reception every weekend? Don't you want yours to be the party everyone's talking about 3 months later? Then give us a call today at BTP Productions. We offer online planning forms, the best OKC DJs, lighting and sound packages, ceremony packages, and anytime consultations. We put you in total control of your party so you get your reception your way. Call us today at 405-609-9980. That's 405-609-9980. Or find us on Facebook. That's BTP Productions. The right music, the right DJ equals BTP Productions. Call today.
Crossover Radio is the best station I have ever listened to, even over other Christian stations. They are such a blessing. God uses this radio station that God started through the DJs and everyone on there to bless us and to show us Him.
Do you love coffee? Does your church, office, or business need coffee? What about getting amazing quality coffee at home from a business that serves our community and the world? Grounds for Compassion can meet your needs. The amazing staff at Grounds for Compassion would love to connect with you. There are 14 varieties, so you can't go wrong. Check out Grounds for Compassion on Facebook, Instagram, or at g4c.coffee, where you can place your order. Grounds for Compassion, coffee with conviction.
Crossover Radio. Radio with a purpose.
We are back here on Crossover Radio. This is Higher Tech on Crossover Radio. Higher Tech, technology with a purpose on Crossover Radio. Radio with a purpose. All right. If you missed Rapid Rewinds, you missed some of those notes about things that have gone on in the tech world in the past week, you can roll it back on Facebook. You need to check that out if you have any kind of questions about that. But you know, there have been a lot of things going on in the tech world. But there's a big one going on this Friday. When I say it's big, it's Apple big. All right, not Big Apple, but it's Apple big. There is the release, or the pre-order for the iPhone X as occurring this Friday at 2 a.m. Central Time, 3 a.m. 3 a.m. Eastern Time, 12 a.m. Pacific Time. It's going to be a very interesting deal. So here's the report. The report was the estimated amount of units available for the very first dispersal is at 20 million. 20 million. Now, I think that number can be a little misleading. If you think about it, in the United States alone, there's about 400 million people. But we're talking about 20 million, I believe, not just for some of the United States, but also for other parts of the world. Now, I'm not sure if the pre-order is going on then for them as well, but it will be very interesting to see if you can get it. And if you are one of those people who really wants the new iPhone X, or who really needs it, like my dear beloved wife, who has been waiting patiently for a new phone because her screen is cracked and has been for a few months now, or at least a couple months. She has been so patient, and so I am going to try and get up at the right time, or maybe just stay up, so that I can help get her the iPhone X, and so she doesn't have to wait any longer. Now, let me preface all that by saying she is not making me do that. She is willing to wait however long she needs to wait. Now, she wants to replace her phone as soon as possible because it's cracked and it's getting worse. Yeah, it's getting worse. But I'm doing this. I'm getting up at 2 a.m. to try to get her phone as soon as possible because I love her. I love her so much, and I just want to do that for her. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. But in the midst of this, I was looking last night at some information, and I saw an article on Time via the news app on my iPhone. It was an interesting article. It said, basically, some things you can do to try to ensure that you get the iPhone X. And I thought, you know what, that would be a really great thing to share with my listeners as well on this show. And we'll see what happens. But I'm going to give you some tips and some things that even I discovered last night in the midst of trying to prepare for the pre-order. And yes, there may be ways you can prepare for the pre-order. Okay, so just keep that in mind. But there are some things I've already done to try to prepare for that, which is awesome. So let me share with you how you can help ensure that you get the new iPhone X when it first releases. Or more so, first goes on pre-order this Friday. And by the way, the phones will ship next Friday. And so you can probably get them at your respective stores the day that they ship. All right. So here are my tips. We're trying to be one of the first ones to get the iPhone X. It starts with the Apple Store app. Yeah, I know. It kind of seems a little crazy. But Apple Store app. So if you go to your Apple Store app, the very first thing that you'll see there is iPhone X. And it says pre-order starting 10/27. But there's a link underneath that. It says models and pricing. If you click that, it says select your iPhone X. Pre-order yours starting at 12:01 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time on 10/27. And then it shows a picture of the phone. And then underneath that, there's what you may not notice as a button. It took me just a little bit. But it's a button that says iPhone X 5.8-inch display. If you click that, it will then go to your current carrier. Yes, it knows what your current carrier is if you have an iPhone. It says, replace this iPhone on my account. So if you have AT&T, it'll say AT&T account. If you have Verizon, it'll say Verizon account. If you have Sprint, T-Mobile, so on. And then it also has buy a new iPhone on an existing wireless account. Basically, this is for if you're wanting to buy a phone for someone on a different account, but an existing wireless account. That's actually pretty cool because in my case, I want to be able to buy it for my wife, but she's not on the same account. So I clicked buy a new iPhone on an existing wireless account. You can probably do the other if that suits you better. The next thing that you get to choose, of course, is your wireless carrier that you're buying it for. And then, so here's where it gets pretty good. You get to choose your finish. Do you want silver or space gray? There's the only two options for the iPhone X right now. And so, if you want silver, click silver. Now you choose your capacity. Now, they're only offering 64 gig and 256 gig. So you either get... That is incredible. That is just incredible. It is a $150 total difference. And if you're doing a monthly payment plan, you're looking at about $6.25 more per month. Now, let me just caution you on this. Most of the time, I have not upgraded to the next space upgrade. I did on my last one. It was worth it because I wanted more space for pictures, photos, videos. Sorry, pictures and photos are the same thing. Pictures and videos and other things on my device. Mainly pictures and videos, though. Here's the thing, though, about this. So in the past, it's been normally like a $100 upgrade for each tier. And there were like 3 tiers. And to get to like 128 gig, it was like $200 extra. I was like, there's no way. However, you get an increase of 192 gig for $150. I'm just telling you, the 256 will be, in my opinion, higher resale value. It just will be. The higher gig ones are. It's a higher resale value, and it's only $150 more. That's $6.25 more per month. That is not a bad deal. That's just not a bad deal. And it's definitely worth your time, in my opinion. It's definitely worth your money. If you have it to spend, it's worth your money. Okay? That's just my opinion. You don't have to take it to heart, but that would be what I would recommend. Just what I'd recommend. It's what we're going to wind up doing in my family, my household. And just spread those payments out over time. So anyways, so you select the size that you want, though. Select the size that you want. Continuing back on how to help ensure. Again, this is how to help ensure that you get the iPhone X. One of the first ones to get it. Okay? You don't have to wait for months and months and months on end, hopefully. The other thing, the next thing that you choose is how would you like to pay? Do you want to use the Apple iPhone upgrade plan or program, or the AT&T installment program, or the Sprint installment program, or the Verizon, blah, 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 blah. Okay? Those are your options. So choose whichever one you want to prefer, whichever one you prefer. And the really good thing about the Apple iPhone upgrade program is, I believe it's the only way to spread out payments for the Apple Care Plus, which is $150, $200. Yeah, it's an extra. That's right. Yeah, it's like an extra $150, $200. And if you use the Apple iPhone upgrade program, it actually gets put into the regular monthly payments. You get 2 years of increased warranty, and that way, even if you have an accidental drop, or you shatter the screen, or you drop it in water, you get up to 2 accidents on this plan, and then you just pay like an additional $29 or $99. $29 for a cracked screen, broke screen, or $99, at least for a cracked screen. If there's something else going on underneath, it may be $99. Just want to preface that. But everything else is just $99 to replace it. That's a pretty good deal. When you're talking about $1,000+ phone, especially for the 256 gig, it's $1,149 total dollars. That's a pretty good deal, in my opinion. I don't always buy insurance. But this would be very, very helpful. So you choose your installment program. And if you haven't enrolled in the iPhone, if you choose the iPhone 1, you can click I'd like to enroll, or I'm already part of the program. Click that. And then it says, here you go. But wait, you can't buy it right now, because the continue button is grayed out, or it's faded out. However, in the upper left-hand corner, and I'm going to show this on Facebook Live. In the upper left-hand corner, okay, right up here, there is a button that says that's a heart. If you heart that, it saves it as a favorite. Now, why that is important is that you can come back into the Apple Store app Friday at 2 a.m., go to your account, go to your favorites, and boom, it immediately pulls up. You no longer have to go through the process of selecting all that at 2 a.m. Time is of essence when you want to be one of the first ones to get an iPhone. Time is completely of the essence. You will definitely want to make sure that you have this favorited. That way you just go right to it, go to your account. By the way, here's where your account is. It's the account button right here, okay? Account button, it looks like a little person with a circle around it, okay? Or at least a headshot with a circle around it, okay? You click the account, then My Favorites is in there. I'll show you. Hold on. My Favorites, right here. It's like one of the first things that you can see. Click it. You're ready to go. It already has all your preferences saved. It has that you're doing the Apple iPhone program upgrade or your AT&T installment. I'm sure it would do as well. It has the color that you want, the size that you want the iPhone X. Has all that saved. You click on it, and then it brings up the same page where the continue button will not be faded out on Friday morning. And then you can actually just order it right there, right then and there. I would also recommend on your account, make sure that you already have your primary payment set up. By the way, this is under the account section, again, on that Apple Store app. Make sure you have your primary payment set up because you'll probably have to pay the taxes. That's normally what you have to pay. Maybe a little bit of shipping or something. But you'll have to pay something that day. I would definitely plan for probably around 100 to 150 at least. And then you have to set your primary shipping as well. I would say make sure you have that set. Now it's going to be tied to your Apple account, your Apple ID account. Just make sure that you have those set up though right there in that app. Make sure there's no question, nothing to worry about. That way you can just go to your favorites, click on it, click continue, purchase, be done immediately. Whereas other people may be actually going through that entire process, which takes at least a couple minutes because you're thinking through and you're making decisions in the moment. It will take you longer. Even if you already knew what you want to do, it would still take a minute to 2 minutes because it's going through each page. Imagine what happens when there are a bunch of people on the app and on their website. They have had issues with their Apple Store online because there's so many people that go to it to order. Whereas if you already have it saved on your favorites, you're done. You don't have to wait for the different pages to load because it goes page to page to page to ask you all these questions. You could already have it done and be ready. And so that's my advice. If you want to be one of the first ones to get an iPhone X, that will help that cause. And that's what I'm going to try to do Friday morning. So we'll see what happens. Not quite sure at this point, but we'll see what happens. All right, this has been Higher Tech on Crossover Radio. We will be right back after these short messages from our sponsors. And we will talk about the different cloud reviews out there. I think you'll really enjoy that. You'll definitely want to stay tuned to see what cloud storage service I recommend personally. And I think it's something that, again, you'll enjoy that segment and you'll get a lot out of it. All right, this is Higher Tech. We will be right back again after these short messages.
City Life Community Church is the proud home of Crossover Radio. We are located at 6634 Northwest 36th Street, right here in the heart of Bethany. You can join us for worship at 11 a.m. each Sunday, and if you can't make it, you can hear us right here on Crossover Radio. You can also join us for worship and prayer each Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. City Life exists to glorify God by making disciples and doing good in Jesus' name. We are here for Bethany and for the Northwest Oklahoma City communities. We're excited about the opportunity to serve you and your family.
Would your business, organization, or ministry like to connect with our listeners? Crossover Radio is seeking amazing like-minded partnerships to impact our community. Crossover Radio has cheap and affordable sponsorship packages available now. Call us at 405-494-0234 so we can help connect you with thousands of listeners every week right here on Crossover Radio. Again, that number is 405-494-0234. Call us today.
Tired of taking up a seat in church or just watching a production? Join us Sunday at West Metro Community Church in Yukon, a place where your life matters and you are more than a number.
We are located at 601 West Main Street in Yukon, and our worship service is at 1045 on Sunday. For additional information on our student ministry, men's, women's, and mixed small group Bible studies throughout the week, find our information at www.westmetro.org.
Come be a part of a church where all are welcome.
Crossover Radio. Radio with a purpose.
We are back. Higher Tech on Crossover Radio. Higher Tech technology with a purpose on Crossover Radio. Radio with a purpose. That's right. You are hearing it here live in the Crossover Radio studios. All right, we are back. If you missed the segment discussing how to get an Apple iPhone X, how to be one of the first ones to get an Apple iPhone X, and how to help ensure you are one of the first ones. Because I'm just telling you, their production numbers are about half of what they thought they would be. They now, according to an article I read, I believe it was on TechCrunch or Ars Technica. It was somewhere. Or maybe it was on Time. They expected to have 40 million or so devices available, and now it looks like 20 million, so about half. Yeah, if it wasn't already hard enough in the past to get iPhones whenever a big release came out, it will definitely be hard this time around. So you'll definitely want to keep that in mind. All right, now in this segment, this is going to be our final segment of the day. And at the very end of it, we will definitely wrap up with a one-to-one short segment at the very end of it, and that is where we make a direct correlation between faith and technology, and I think you'll definitely stay tuned for that. As far as the cloud storage review, though, here's where I want to start with that. For one, there are a lot of cloud storage companies out there. Ones like Dropbox, that's probably the most popular. Google Drive, that's another popular one. Microsoft OneDrive is a popular one. There are other companies like Box. I'm trying to think of some of the other ones off the top of my head. Of course, iCloud storage. I think it's kind of funny that I didn't even think about iCloud storage until after after I listed the others. iCloud storage and others as well. What I'm going to do is give you a review of some of those that I've had experience with already up to this point, and I'll give you a comparison of those and ones I think are worth your time and or possibly your money. But actually, I will have a strong focus on not paying a dime for your cloud storage, because I just don't think that there's really much need for that. Unless you're a business or you're someone who ultimately needs a bunch of storage. I don't know why you'd ever need more than some of the free amounts, but maybe you got a lot of stuff you want to keep digitally. But most of the time, it's businesses that need more storage, or single employee businesses, right? If you own a business and things like that, or if you're a church. And overall, again, and don't want to lose the mission and vision of the show, which is we want to be an aid to churches and ministries who need free technology consultation and free technology help. That is what this show started with. Now we also want to help businesses and individuals as well, and I'll do a mix of different things and different topics and different segments that sometimes appeal directly to churches and ministries, and some that appeal directly to individuals and businesses. But overall, the mission and vision of this is I want to provide a help for churches and ministries to be able to give them free consultation, free technology consultation or advice, so that you don't have to go spend money on that, and especially for small churches and ministries that don't have the cash flow to go get a consultant, I want to give you a resource, just any resource, because there's a lot of noise on the internet. There are a lot of people on the internet, and it's kind of hard to know who or what you can trust. And I'm not saying that I know everything, because I don't know everything by any stretch of the imagination. I just want to give you free help, and hopefully I'm someone you can trust. Hopefully. All right. So without any further ado, I definitely want to address the cloud storage discussion. Real quick though, before we go any further, I definitely want to read this comment. Debbie comments in this morning. She says, "I've been watching. It's interesting. Been busy. Just now saying, great, beautiful day to you, Evan." Well, thank you so much, Debbie, and to you as well. Hope you have a wonderful day. Hope all of our listeners have a wonderful day today. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into our cloud storage review and comparisons. All right, I'm going to start with probably the most popular one, which is Dropbox. Now, Dropbox is a very interesting cloud platform. They began, and I think that they really entered this space by allowing free storage. So they were one of the first ones to do it. However, they kind of fell behind the times as time went on, and they really were pretty stingy with how much storage they gave you. So whenever they first started, it was 2 gig for free. And then you could earn more storage space by inviting people and doing other things. They had like a tutorial, a walkthrough that you could go through. You had to earn maybe 500 more meg or 100 more meg, things like that. That would just kind of help. And that was pretty cool. That was a cool thing. It was engaging. It was effective, in my opinion. It got me to invite people. It got me to definitely go through the tutorials and do what they wanted me to do overall. I did a lot of that so that I could get free storage. It was very effective. However, over time, though, they never adjusted the amount that they gave you for free. Now, that's their prerogative, and some of their other stuff is still really, really good. In fact, you can download Dropbox onto your PC, onto your Mac, and you just have a folder, and it's just really easy because a lot of times it just works. It just works. And a lot of people just want something that works. However, in my opinion, other ones came along the way, especially, in my opinion, OneDrive. It was formerly Cloud Drive, I believe, by Microsoft. Microsoft gives you, and I want to make sure that this number is still accurate. At one time, it was up to 1 terabyte. 1 terabyte of storage. That's just you as an individual. There was no caveat. You got 1 terabyte of free storage, which was amazing. Absolutely amazing. I just thought that was a really, really cool deal. And it's at least somewhere in that ballpark now. You're at least going to get a lot of storage. Way more than what you're going to get with Dropbox. Way more than what you're going to get with Dropbox. And I think that the overall thing with that... Sorry, I'm just going on Dropbox and all these things. Anyways, just things making me laugh. As far as some of the storage... OneDrive probably gives you the most out of anybody. Now, Google is a pretty decent amount as well, Google Drive. And so there are a number of different avenues to get free cloud storage. And so when you're talking about price, all of them tend to start at the free level. Same with Box, Apple's iCloud, same thing. Now let's talk about some reviews of some of those, okay? Google Drive, let's start with Dropbox. Dropbox allows you to save stuff. You just drop it to a folder on your computer as long as Dropbox is running in the background as a service. It's going to continue updating and receiving updates whenever other stuff is dropped into the folder. It's really, really handy, right? Really, really good stuff. Limited storage for free, okay? And their pricing for their business is way out of bounds. Way, way, way out of bounds. Like, it is way too much to get cloud storage through Dropbox, to buy cloud storage. If you buy it and you say, well, I really like it, that's fine. That's up to you. In my opinion, I would not pay that much, just personally. especially for businesses. It's like $15 a user. I mean, it is incredible. Incredible. Now, it's like $99 a year for individual users, and that's okay, I guess. I just hate spending money when I don't have to. I really do. At least on technology. I'm a big food guy, and so I often spend money on food when I don't need to. But on technology, I hate spending money when I don't need to. I hate it. Absolutely hate it, because there's so many free options out there. And that's the same thing with cloud storage, in my opinion. But with cloud storage via Dropbox, it is easy. I will say that. And they have a really good, efficient system for making sure that the file uploads and downloads just work a little bit better than probably some other services, like Google Drive. Google Drive gives you more storage. Google is a big name. It integrates with a lot of stuff. It integrates your Google Apps if you use the Google Apps, like some of their free Office software and things like that. And that's Google Office software, not Microsoft Office software. And that's a really neat one to use. But it's slower. It tends to be slower from my experience, from my opinion. So Google Drive is slower. However, Dropbox is faster. OneDrive seems to kind of be somewhere in the middle. I think that they do tend to be slower than Dropbox. But OneDrive via Microsoft is a lot of free stuff, and it integrates with your Office products, your Microsoft Office products. Now, all three of these have apps for phones. Okay, apps on Android, iOS, things like that. The really cool thing about that is that when you have any of those apps, you can just drop files into them, and then it's going to upload, and you can download from them as well. I will say, from an ease of use perspective, I do have a number of different ones that I use on my phone. From an ease of use perspective, Dropbox is up there, and OneDrive. Those are the ones that I probably use the most. Dropbox is really neat. There are a lot of things that you can do, and you can use. They have other apps integrated into it, like a scanner, a document scanner. You can definitely access your files right from there. I mean, just like you would with some of your other ones. The OneDrive app allows you to open stuff up. So, for instance, you can open up, so I'm pulling up files right now. I'm pulling up a document. And let's just say I'm pulling up, I'll just pull up a show schedule. Oh, man, this is old. Let's say you pull up a show schedule. You can actually download it right to your phone. You can download it from the cloud. You can send it to people. You can open it up with the appropriate Microsoft Office app. Which, by the way, Microsoft Office apps are free. If you didn't know, they are free. You should download them. That way you can have free Office on your phone. That's pretty cool. Now it's going to be limited unless you, I guess, have a full version. I think there is a full version where you have access to a lot more features. But pretty much the free version is going to get you by in most cases. All that being said, though, the OneDrive is pretty cool because it integrates with your Microsoft Office apps. So, with both of these, ultimately, I think that those are really good. The Google Drive one was a little bit confusing. I do not like the Google Drive app as much as these other two. But you know what? If it's your preference, if Google's what you like, and you really have gotten used to it, and you like Google overall, it's not a bad one. It's really not. But you just kind of have to figure it out. It is a learning curve, and you'll just have to kind of figure it out along the way. So that would be my review and comparison of those three major ones. Now, there are other ones like iCloud. Okay, iCloud is pretty good. The thing I just still don't like, about Apple is that it's still really restrictive. It's hard to get done what you want to get done with regards to storing files on and off of your phone specifically. I don't like it. It's way too restrictive. I know that they're trying to probably protect users from themselves and protect against viruses and all kinds of other things. I get that. I just don't like it. Now, maybe they're also trying to be proprietary and to be able to basically earn more money by upselling and all this other kind of stuff. But I really don't like it. I also do not like the limited space available on iCloud. Now, you get up to 5 gig. There's something to be said for that. That's fine. But still, it's limited space compared to like Google Drive and Microsoft OneDrive. So that would be my thoughts on the iCloud drive. Now, ones like Box and Amazon Cloud Drive, I'm trying to remember what theirs is specifically called. It may just be Amazon Cloud or something. But it is those are okay. Box is pretty good. You get some free stuff with that. Amazon, same way. Especially if you have a Prime membership, I think it increases something. I'm trying to remember right off the top of my head. I didn't research that one before. I didn't look at that one before coming into this and didn't really research it. But it's one of those things, and I haven't really researched it before very much. I will say this, though. The one thing you have to kind of keep your eye out for is unless you pay for a lot of these. Now, some of them may be different, but unless you pay for a lot of these, you actually cannot upload either A, too many videos, or B, very large videos. And by very large, sometimes that's like more than 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Sometimes it may even be more than just a couple minutes. I'm not 100% on that. But some they restrict on the size of the videos that you upload, not so much on how many videos or how much storage total of videos. And so you really can't do very much. Some of them don't allow you to upload videos at all, unless you have the paid version. Again, I don't like it. It's restricted. It's my space. You're giving me the space that you're giving me, and I need to be able to use it. And they just don't do that. So that would be my comparison, my reviews of some of those, and definitely take it with a grain of salt. I mean, you may or may not agree. That's fine. I just wanted to try to give you some information on those for the free versions. Now, if you want to know about some of the paid versions, that I don't have as much experience with, just to be honest. And so that would be something that you would definitely want to research. But if you're talking about ease of use and some of the free storage space, I would probably put Dropbox still first because of the ease of use and the familiarity most people have with it. A lot of people have it, so you can also share folders with other Dropbox users. That way both of you can edit a particular folder or a particular drive, things like that. Or if you're doing like the whole thing, you both could edit it. So for instance, a case scenario would be, let's say the station here had a Dropbox. Let's just say by chance it has a Dropbox. It may or may not. But then all the individual DJs wanted to be able to view some of the documents in that, maybe even have editing permissions on that. Well, whoever sets up the station Dropbox could share it to all the DJs that have Dropbox as well. And if they don't have Dropbox, they can sign up for free to get it. Now, the really cool thing about that is that means they can access the same folder here with the station and be able to make edits, changes, things like that to it. That way, they can actually view. Let's say we had a list of different times that were not going to be filled in a particular week because someone was going to be gone. Well, then some of the other DJs could look at it and say, "Hey, I can actually fill in that time," and boom, you're done. It's a really cool way to definitely collaborate and be able to work together. Now, Dropbox also does have integration with different Office programs like Word, where you can both be working on an Excel file or a Word file at the same time. It will actually show that there are other changes being made, and I think it actually will show you, hey, this is what they're doing right now, which is pretty cool. But still, collaboration whenever you're not next to someone can just be pretty difficult. But there are other things out there that can help with that. Maybe we can do a segment over that in the future. But anyways, that would be just a case scenario where that might be useful for the sharing. And you may be able to do that on OneDrive or Google Drive. I know you can on Google Drive for sure. But you may be able to do that on OneDrive. I'm not 100% on that. But something worth checking out. All right, so, let's do this. We're going to close out the show with a one-to-one segment. And on one-to-one, I want to try to draw a comparison to what we were just talking about. And that is storing. Now, Scripture has a number of things to say about storing particular items, right? Sometimes you'll see in Scripture where it talks about being prepared, and that's good, and you should do that. You should prepare for your family and all these other kinds of things, and maybe we can build off of that. Well, that definitely means that we should probably have some kind of savings at least. Okay. And then we see other things where we shouldn't be lazy and all these other kinds of warnings and things like that, right? And in fact, in Matthew chapter 6, and let's see here, pulling this up right now. Matthew chapter 6, verse 20, it says. Let's start with verse 19. Okay? It says, "Do not lay up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust destroys, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." We were just talking about storage, and I think storage is a very important thing. We need to be wise and store documents. We need to be wise and store up at least some money if we can, via a savings, hopefully. We need to be wise and store photos and videos, in my opinion. I think that those are good things to have. They're memories, and they're very precious. And sometimes they can really help us through tough times. They can help us through times where we forget maybe what, I know at least in my case, forget exactly what it was like whenever my son was just a newborn baby. Or you just, maybe aren't thinking about it. And those videos call very sweet memories to your remembrance. But I think the caution that Jesus gives us here, in Matthew chapter 6. And again, I'll read it. "Do not lay up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy, and where thieves break in and steal." Here's the warning part of this select passage of Scripture. Again, it's Matthew 6:19 through 21 that I'm focusing on. We should not focus on storing up treasures here. Now, most often, I think people, and rightfully so, gravitate toward, well, we shouldn't, focus on storing up money here. That shouldn't be our goal or purpose. And I agree with that. However, it can apply to a lot of things. Whatever is your treasure. What is your treasure? Ultimately, Christ talks about another thing in a parable, in a separate passage of Scripture, where he talks about the pearl of great price, where a man is walking through a field, he finds a pearl of great value, of great price. And he goes and he sells everything he has so he can buy this piece of land to get the pearl. That's salvation. That's what that is. Ultimately, in the treasure, ultimately, it's Christ. That's the treasure. The pearl of great price. That's the pearl. That's the treasure. He is our salvation. So we should not store up things, because that man could have stored up everything he had, but it would not have been worth it, because he would have lost this pearl of great price. And for us, it's the same as well. It's not worth storing up everything in this earth, in this world, just to ultimately lose Christ. We should be willing to give up everything we have for Christ. We should not focus our minds solely on things of this earth. Now, we have everything that goes on in our lives, and I get that. It's just life, right? We have families, we have friends, and we have jobs, and we need to provide for our families. And with your especially for men, we're called to provide for our families. I think we so often, though, get so wrapped up in this life that we forget that Jesus is the treasure that we should seek. And so my caution to you today is to, while we talk about storage, we talk about all these other things, ultimately, you should lay it, as it says here in verse 20, as Christ says here, but lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust destroys, and where thieves do not break in and steal. And then verse 21 is kind of the punch, right? I know it hits me in the gut at least. It says, for where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Make sure your heart is with Christ. If you're listening today and you say, I don't know Christ as Savior, I don't know what you mean by the fact that He is the pearl of great price. I don't understand that. Send us a message. We'd love to talk to you about it. Send us a message on Facebook. Send us a text message, 405-494-0234. We would love to definitely speak with you about that. Christ is the only one worth giving everything for. We should lay up for ourselves treasures in heaven as Christ commands us here. Verse 20. Where neither moth nor rust destroys, and where thieves do not break in and steal. And again, just to finish here, for where your treasure is, this is verse 21, Matthew 6. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. I hope you all have a wonderful day today. Thank you so much for listening this morning to Higher Tech on Crossover Radio. Higher Tech, technology with a purpose on Crossover Radio, radio with a purpose. Have a great day, and I will talk with you guys again next week.